I've never been quite moved by a man as I have a man that's from Atlanta.
I don't know if I'm not gonna say that I can't date outside of Atlanta, but you just gotta be black. We good. We good.
As I have a black man that's from Atlanta. Let me just clarify, because a lot of different men here.
But what you been say, G?
Your ass lying.
Lying about what though? No. Don't stop recording.
He want his proof. He want his proof on camera.
What you mean? What's lying about what though?
Cap.
Well, she gotta be black. Where you gonna hit anything?
But that's different between hitting and being a relationship. It's two different things.
Yeah, because he already said just because he smashed don't mean they go together.
Right.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
This is Gail's debut. Take one.
Take one.
The question is, does our culture dictate how we love?
Aww.
Fuck love. No, I'm just playing. Yes, it does.
When we say our,
Alright, black.
Black. Okay, we'll start
Where we
there.
from?
We both from east side of Atlanta.
Right.
Ladies first.
Damn, I was trying to feed off you.
I'm a gentleman, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, of course your culture dictates how you love, but to what degree will you allow your culture to dictate how you're gonna love?
I agree with that.
Because this is the thing. There's so many different cultures, especially within the black community.
Right.
But I do believe culture is location, culture is upbringing, culture is race, ethnicity, in-home. Being black with a mother and father who did get divorced at 3, raised in Stone Mountain, Georgia, on the east side, being the baby to 5 older brothers, the only girl, I would say yes. Because how I love a man is completely different how a lot of women love a man. Like, I have 5 brothers. I only know men. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more so understanding and more lenient towards things. Because I do think it's possible to love and hurt someone that you love. I do think it's possible to love and have cheated. I have a lot of understanding when it comes to stuff. That don't mean I am acceptive of everything, but I am more understanding.
As women, I don't feel like culture dictates how women love in relationships. However, I do feel like it has a strong emphasis on men. I feel like men subconsciously feel a way. They think things, but they don't necessarily vocalize it. And then when they look at certain things like social media, I'm speaking on a social media aspect. I feel like if they find men that have podcasts, that have a public platform, and they may have the same similar views, they may gravitate more to that and be like, okay, damn, I ain't the only nigga feeling that way. Okay, I see how that may be true. Like if I'm not the only one feeling that way, that means it got to be multiple other men that feel the same way that I feel.
Yeah, I think it has an influence, but I think it depends on like how you were raised, your environment, whatever, because I think I'm somebody who like believes in the old love, like that 90s love. I still believe in that fairy tale, but then there's another side of me that's like, you know what, fuck that shit. Like, is it gonna happen? I think it kind of makes you, it grounds you, because it's like, okay, I have this idea of what I want, but is what I want actually obtainable in what we're living in? I think I find myself questioning that more than ever now.
Yeah. And I think that comes from experiences. That doesn't even have anything to do with the culture.
You think so?
Yeah. The way I communicate is a little bit different because, like you said, the question calls for, does culture dictate love? I do feel like, also being from the east side, we tend to have more platonic friendships.
Because we know everybody.
We know everybody. Everybody know everybody on the east side. I feel like the west side, the south side of Atlanta, they not really receptive to other their genders being friends. You know what I'm saying? Like they be real having a third eye on that, like scrutinizing of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I love a little different. I love a little better. I love a little harder.
Now, as a black culture, everybody is different. I grew up in a 2-parent household. However, I will say in my 2-parent household, I did not see my parents affectionate a lot. It was very like straightforward. My dad is ex-military, so it was very like, this is what we're doing, this is routine, this is how we going, this is how we running. Not many like the family dinners, not many of the like, not really none of that. So like when I got older and my dad retired, I started to see more of the relationship aspect of them. But as a kid, I never really seen that. I didn't see the affectionate side of my parents like that. But when they got done, let their hair loose and they retired from everything, I seen my parents really engaging as a couple. So I'm like, damn, this shit kind of cool. Like, okay, you know, that's kind of tight.
Culturally, you see love from your parents or your grandparents or your aunts, uncles, whoever is married or in love or whatever when you're growing up. And so that gives you the foundation and the idea of love.
Right.
But then your experiences help mold how you feel about love.
Right, but then do you think your experiences are taken from the culture? Because I mean, when you think about culture, we're thinking about music, we're thinking about just, you know, dating, we're thinking about those things.
Maybe think about your environment around you, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and I really feel like you can have one idea of how you want things to go.
Yeah.
And then it's like when you're living in real life and day-to-day life, it forces you to kind of like adjust or change what it is that your expectation. It makes you.
I don't think
lower
it
how
changes your expectation. I think it makes realizations for you. Because, you know, it is what it is. You may think that you're going to be, you know, married at 24, children at 28, and all of this bullshit. And then you might get out there and find out you toxic as fuck.
Ooh.
And it ain't happening until you about 35.
I feel like our culture does dictate how we love. I think also it dictates our love language too, though.
Okay.
To a degree. How we was raised, what we was around.
Yes.
Things that we probably didn't have that we want. It dictates our love language. And I think it's bigger than just what month you was born.
Correct. Zodiac signs
Yeah, for sure.
give you a little bit, but they only give so much.
But I know at a young age, like I just kind of made that decision that I would probably be the opposite of what I seen growing up. I would be more vocal. I would be more affectionate to allow my kids to know that's what you see in relationships.
Yeah.
Now you might also see mommy and daddy argue, but you need to also see mommy and daddy find a resolution to the argument that was started. Mm-hmm. You don't want to give kids a fake connotation on what a relationship is, because you hear people say all the time like, well, I don't want my kids to see me argue. No, you need to allow them to know that arguments happen and that's real life. And you also need to allow them to know that you have to find a solution to the argument that was at hand.
That's fair.
A lot of times people like to hide what's going on between parents, and they say I think that's the biggest issue too in the black culture. A lot of black parents say this grown folk business. This ain't none of y'all business. Mom, y'all go upstairs to y'all room and y'all allow mommy and daddy to figure out what they need to figure out. And they hide a lot of things that people think is fictitious. Like they think that it's like, I ain't never seen my mom and daddy argue. Relationships, folks, my parents been married for X amount of years and they don't never argue. No, people argue.
That's why.
And they have to find a resolution or find a solution to the argument that's at hand.
I really want our culture to look at that more and pay attention to that more, because y'all introduced us to so many toxic, well, I don't know about y'all, but my culture that I grew up in introduced me to so many toxic things that I had a fucked up image of love.
Really?
In real life. I did. I thought love was like aggressive. When a motherfucker do what you tell them to do, that's love. Like I thought that type of shit was love.
Okay.
And so I want us just to be more aware in our culture.
Now, what is it, culture, or is it like upbringing? Because
No, but I mean, your upbringing is a part of your culture. So
well, I don't know, because when I'm thinking about culture, I'm thinking of like, it's more external.
Yeah.
Okay, like, cause for instance, like I didn't grow up in a very healthy environment either. I grew up
Right.
with abuse, any type of abuse you can name, whether that be drug, mental, emotional, physical, I've seen it, right?
Yeah.
But then in my mind, I'm like, I want the opposite of that.
Right.
Okay,
right.
so then that's like upbringing.
Okay.
Then culture is like when you're in school, when you partying, when you're dating, when you're older, like the music, whatever you expose. Because I feel like culture is what you choose to expose yourself to. You know what I mean? Like, because that's a choice.
To the wrong shit.
You was doing some toxic shit.
Listen, I had to learn.
I don't want to say nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, because I feel like how we was brought up, how we was raised, it dictates how we interact with people, how we, you know, accept, you know, people. Do we even let people in because of how we was raised, you know, our upbringing, shit like that. And so that's why I do agree that I feel like our culture does dictate how we love. If you was,
So let me ask you a question. Are you in a relationship?
I'm saying,
For how long?
3.
Not to be prying.
No, 3 years.
Okay.
What's
3 years you've been single, or is there someone who think they're in a relationship with you?
No, I've been single for 3 years. Really, I'm capping. I've been single for 5 years, to be honest with you. But I've been dating people throughout the 5 years, but
Dating like courting or dating like y'all
dating
official?
courting.
Okay. Having sex raw? But you can tell me if that's too far.
No, it ain't too far, but yeah.
So you have been having sex raw with people and not been in a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But only if
Everybody know if we fuck, we go together. That's how.
That'll go for everybody though. That'll go for everybody.
Social media wise, if people are still single and because you can't speak for like married couples because they already there, but for men that are single, I think a lot of men try to find social media as an outlet to coddle what they're feeling internally. And a lot of people, a lot of men, also women too, but a lot of men backdoor what they grew up seeing.
I think culture, like you pick the culture that you kind of abide by. Because I mean, I feel like, you know, even people of color, we all got our different experience of what culture is and what, you know what I'm saying, what we identify with. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it has a big influence though. I definitely think it has a big influence.
How you kind of explained it is kind of like the tunnel vision that a lot of women have when it comes to like culture and love. And I ain't even gonna say just women, I say people in general, because like your culture, you associate that with like what you grew up around, your traditions, how you were raised, the people you kick it with. And what you'll notice about the culture is a lot of people stay close to home and they gravitate to, you know what I'm saying, what feels comfortable. And that doesn't really mean that you're, you know what I'm saying, you're not really culture in the definition of the word. You have a culture. You get what I'm saying?
So my question is, compare and contrast what your initial view of love was and how your culture has either encouraged that initial view of love and how it changed it.
So I think through my experiences, my definition of love is finding someone that you connect with on a spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial level.
Okay.
I mean, because all of that matters. Like when you're younger, you think that, oh, just fall in love, and as long as you treat me right, I'm there. But then when you get older, you start realizing, nigga, your finances need to be in order. Right. How's your spirituality? Do you love the Lord?
Okay.
Do you love the Lord?
Okay.
Because if you don't, I need to know. You know, financially, are you gonna sit on my couch and have me cooking and shit? Because I'm not doing that all day, every day. And emotionally, some niggas are just toxic. Okay, so you gotta know all that shit to work out.
I think for me, my mom and my dad divorced when I was 5, so I was able to see that early. For me, it didn't
Do
affect.
they have a healthy relationship?
They have a healthy relationship now. Earlier, when I was a kid, they did it.
Okay,
and
same.
I think as a child, you view that a little bit different than you do as an adult.
Yes.
I think a lot of times, if we're gonna go back, it didn't affect me that they wasn't together, but it did affect the relationship I had with my dad. Now, I think that's because of how I view things as a child. As a child, you're not really told much. You really just, you go with what they say. And you kind of just, you know, see from a distance. You can hear things, but you really don't know like what's really going on until you're old enough and you have been in those situations where you do deal with women or men, and you kind of be like, okay, now I understand why she was tripping, or why he felt that way, or why, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that right there kind of molded me, I guess, earlier. But like I said, it didn't affect on how I view relationships or how I view love though.
Me being born and raised from Atlanta, but like Man, I had so many like examples to grow up on. Not just because like I grew up with a close family. My mom and dad married like 30 plus years together.
Same.
I done seen it all, them fighting, him getting kicked out, but then I also got uncles, aunties, other people who situations were different, cousins who were raised different, but we were always around them. And for some reason, like, just like I am today, I always thought objectively. That's why when I got 18 and it was time to pick a college, I was like, get me the hell away from Atlanta so I can experience like a
Life
different
outside.
culture. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, then from there, like, I moved around a lot before I came back. So like, when I look at culture, like with women, one thing I've noticed is like, y'all associated with how you were raised, what you're used to, but like, most men associate culture with what's relative. Where you're at, where you're at in life and what's going on.
That's fair.
And like, what it might take you to keep a husband in like, the Delta in Mississippi is a lot different from the culture in Atlanta and what it might take to keep your love going there.
That's true.
But my definition of love is finding somebody that will help you grow in all of those aspects that I named, and that will be understanding of your journey and that won't leave you, and that's loyal to you.
Okay.
That's my definition
So
of love.
then, culturally though, when you got into the world and dating or whatever, how do you feel like that did it make your?
It skewed the fuck out of me because I picked the wrong nigga every time, baby.
Okay. Now, is it the culture's fault or your fault? I mean, it's the people want to know.
A little bit of both, damn it. Because when the culture give you shit and you trying to turn shit into sugar, it don't work.
Nah, you know what?
But I did have a type that was very toxic for me, you know, back in the day. But I mean, what was the question though?
I'm screaming.
My parents are divorced. They have been divorced since I was 3. And of course, they did not get along in the beginning. And now they're cordial and they get along. They have a little friendship or whatever. But my dad was always great to me. They always both equally loved me. And I think from that, I dated a guy who said he never dated a girl who had a father in her life. That to me was like mind-blowing. So I think what my dad did is he always instilled love in me, and he always showed me at the end of the day how a man is supposed to treat me. He might have not shown me, you know, how a man supposed to treat my mom or how a man supposed to treat my woman, but he set the basis, him and my brothers set the basis for how a man is supposed to treat me. A lot of times we look at our parents and we think, oh, that's how a man is supposed to treat a woman. Oh, that's how love is supposed to be. When sometimes we supposed to just look at the shit that can we cuss from?
Yeah, you can.
Look at the things that our parents go through and be like, okay, well, identify that as toxic. Like, that's toxicity. That's not what I should deal with, or you know what I'm saying? And or even just be able to identify it when you're in a relationship of like, okay, this is toxic. I've given it my all. I've been understanding. I've been patient. Because even with having a great culture and coming from a rich culture that is filled with love, I can say it's shown me, I've seen the evolution of love. So it's definitely shown me how I want to be loved and how I don't want to be loved. I feel like our culture doesn't necessarily dictate how we love, but it shows us the different ways to love. So I feel like our culture has shown us, being black, being from the east side, has shown us all the facets of love, and we decide which love we choose to accept, which love we deserve, which love we want for ourselves. I've been in a multitude of relationships, from good to bad to Jesus, what the fuck was you thinking, to now, oh, this is what I deserve. You know what I'm saying? This is what I expected. This is the bar and the standard that I've held for a lot of niggas that just fell under it. So, I just think it varies.
I do agree. A lot of women. I grew up with a 2-parent household. Will I say just because you grew up in a 2-parent household don't mean it's peaches and cream and berries and blueberries and rose, all of that. It don't mean it's great. However, what you see in a 2-parent household can make you want to divert and do your household completely different from what you've seen, because not just because it's 2 parents don't mean that your 2 parents were the best. A lot of people give that narrative or give that standard that a 2-parent household is better than a 1-parent household and all this X, Y, and Z.
Guarantee you, Steph Curry and and Seth had no idea what they mama was doing.
Then that's new. That's new.
See, I guarantee you they know.
True.
But see, I grew up
That's
in the
true.
hood, so I seen my mama chasing my daddy with a frying pan. I seen that shit. My granddaddy grew up with a knot on his head from getting caught with a frying pan. We done seen that. They done got through it.
But see, and too, that's it, when you go through like generations, it's so different. Like your grandmama or your great granddaddy, they went through that shit. They went through infidelity with no issue. You would have never knew as a young child that Papa was out here doing what he was doing. You know what I mean? You didn't know Papa would come home 3-4 days after.
That guy wasn't listening to good music.
Shut up. Yeah, but like now, like you know, as it gets older and the generations get closer, you realize certain things are more prevalent. Like you would have thought that your grandma and your granddad had the best relationship ever. They've been married for 50 years and you never knew that it was outside of the realm.
I feel like my definition of love was, you know, patient, kind. Isn't that Bible verse?
I'm gonna say, nigga, you going to the hallelujah.
Okay. But no, I definitely think that I'm definitely helpless romantic. I definitely believe in fairy tales. I believe in someone sweeping me off my feet, being courted.
And I'm gonna get on my
married.
Gail. And now, how has that affected you?
You know, honestly, I'm a little traumatized. No, seriously, I think I really have this idealistic view of love and this fairy tale view of love, and I still feel like it's gonna happen for me. However, what I've realized in just dating is that men are just not doing that. Men definitely are like, you're my equal in the every literal sense of the word, and I'm not gonna open your door for you or pump gas for you. Like, why should I do that? You make more money than me. Like, so it's definitely made me feel like my expectations are too high, but I also feel like there's no such thing as too high. You're just not enough.
Hey,
so I feel like you gotta stick to your guns. And I feel like there's a couple of people out there, but it's definitely discouraged me at some points. It made me feel like it's unrealistic. Even my own family has said like, you gonna be single for a minute. Like you know what I'm saying?
No, you just
but
look,
I don't believe that.
Like I tell my mama, you just need to go outside of Atlanta, okay? Step outside your state. Sometimes you gotta go outside and realize, because there's a lot of niggas out in the world in the United States that realize, hey, I need a good bit. And you know, I'm trying to fuck with a real one. I ain't trying to get on no hoe shit. And they really out there. They're just not in Atlanta.
For me, most of my upbringing as far as like learning how to love, as far as women, was by my mom. A lot of things that her way of teaching was telling me to do everything that my dad didn't do. You know what I'm saying? It's like my dad did this when they were together. Don't do that. Girls don't like that. Girls don't, you know, they don't like when you lie to them, and they don't like dirty fingernails.
Has that held true? Has everything that you've learned held true?
I think that to a degree. I think that for her, that was just her best way of raising a male because because she is a woman. You know, I feel like she had other ways in helping me, raise a son.
Yeah.
As far as like putting me in different programs, all boys programs, shit like that growing up. But as far as like her personally teaching me when we at home, we have conversations with her, you know, basically telling me, look, this is what your dad used to do. This is why it didn't work out. If you want a girl or you want something long term, this is what you need to do to make sure the same thing will happen to you. You know what I'm saying? So through that, I kind of learned how to, learn how to love women, learn how to care for women. That, and then also, I would say trial and error too, though.
Do you think that is it absolutely necessary to date outside of your city? Like, do you think it's necessary for people, especially in this culture, your culture, your city, you know, like, do you need to go outside of that just to kind of find what you're looking for? Like, in this type of dating era?
I think it's smart to do that. I don't think that everybody is into that though. It's just like traveling. I feel like you should really experience outside of your state, wherever you live in order to see the world. So I mean, like, if you're gonna take that perspective, I feel like it is smart. I feel like, but if you are growing up in a certain hometown, you like what you like.
Well, I don't know if I can answer that question because I ain't never dated outside of my hometown. So yeah. You got to be Atlanta all the way. I don't want no disrespect to nobody in no other city, but I don't want a nigga from up north. I don't want a nigga from LA. I don't want a nigga from Boston, Virginia, Florida. You got to be Atlanta from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet for me to even be like, he cute. Like, that's just not, my boyfriend's from Scottsdale. Like, I think I went and got the most east side of them all. You know what I'm saying? He beat it up. So, I just don't, for me, it's so much, like, I love the richness Like you said, do culture dictate love? I love the richness of my culture.
Yeah.
Like when I was in middle school, I dated a Vietnamese. I dated a white boy. But I'm gonna marry black.
Right, for sure.
That's for sure. Like, it's something about a black man that goddamn. So I mean, just like that part of my culture does dictate my love. Like, have I seen beautiful other ethnicity men? Yes, I have. That's not how I want to fall in love with and marry and have kids with.
So I feel like in a city like Atlanta, you do have to date kind of outside of your city because Atlanta is like the people in Atlanta are under a fog impression of a fantasy to me. Like they want their cake and they want to eat it too. Like they you know, and so they make for bad business, baby. So if you live in the city limits of Atlanta, I say start by going to Noonan and further. Find you somebody, okay? Go to Alpharetta.
I think that's different from men and women. I think men are more accepting to dating outside their race, regardless of white, Vietnamese, black. I feel like they're more willing to than women. That's a stereotype, though. I do feel like, but I do feel like they are open to it. But like I said earlier, you like who you like. I mean, for me personally, I would definitely, like to bring a black woman home to my mom, and vice versa. But
and I don't judge nobody. I don't think it matters. But I think that's where my culture dictates my love. Like I love my culture so richly that that's what I want. Like that's what gets. You know how they be like, it gets you going. Right. That's what gets me going.
Right. And I also feel like, the things that you like growing up, that you grew up learning, I feel like other cultures might not be able to, understand that or, relate to that.
But don't get me wrong, I done seen some fine ass other ethnicity man.
I do think sometimes it's important for you to not limit yourself to one state because a lot of times you'll get so involved with your environment that you're like, okay, this is what the dating scene is. Right. But then you go visit vacation somewhere else and you're like, oh, so this is what the dating scene really is or could be if I were to open my horizons. Now, as far as dating with outside of your culture, I really want y'all to make sure y'all take that into deep consideration, especially when y'all have kids. Because when you cross cultures, that cause a lot of confusion in the child and all this other shit. I would just say be careful dating outside your culture because, it's a time-sensitive area. And you really need somebody that's gonna be able to understand you 100%, and you don't need nobody that's gonna be bullshit.
Especially people that date outside their culture. I think it's very important that whoever you date understands your culture and who you are, and not just get caught up on the aesthetic and how they look. Like that's one part of a relationship, like that's one very small part. It's about people connecting with you on that deeper level and really wanting to know who you are and your struggles and what you've gone through and what it's like to be you and be able to put themselves in your position. That's what matters.
And they want to appreciate that shit. Because sometimes, especially with the white women out here and the white men, gay men and shit, they want to get get your little black something on the side just because it's just good to see and the black of the berry, all that bullshit, and then they don't respect or appreciate or try to understand the culture, and they cause for bad business. So don't be out there dating because of image, baby. Do it like my girl said, get to know now. Get to know.
I've never been quite moved by a man as I have a man that's from Atlanta.
I don't know, I'm not gonna say that I can't date outside of Atlanta, but you just gotta be black. You're gonna be good. We good.
As I have a black man that's from Atlanta. Let me just clarify, because there's a lot of different men here.
Fact. What you think, G?
Your ass lying.
Lying about what though? No. Don't stop recording.
He want his proof. He want his proof on camera.
What you mean? What's lying about what though?
Cap.
Bro, she gotta be black. Where you gonna hit anything?
But that's different between hitting and being a relationship with two different things.
Yeah, because he already said just because he smashed don't mean they go together.
Right. I honestly, I'm not the type to just be smashing anybody. I just feel like if we
you have a standard. The three people done.
No. But
both people done made it seem like that's cap.
They know.
Edit that out. We can edit that out.
So the comments gonna go crazy.
But she was saying like, if we smash and we go together. I don't feel like that's necessarily true though.
If you smashing wrong, you can't gut check me and think everything gonna be.
I got a chick right now.
You cannot gut check me.
I got a chick right now.
You cannot gut check me.
I got a chick right now.
You cannot gut check me and think that we are
The question
friends.
is, how many people can you go? The question is, how many people can you go together with at once?
Nah, fuck all that. What I'm saying is, I got a chick right now that I have smashed raw, and through that, she felt like it was too early for me to even ask her when she coming home or when she coming back in town. She told me that it was too early.
Exactly.
No.
You had a little bit too much dip on your chip.
No,
She probably was only saying that because of the fact that you asking these questions before you asking, will you be my girl?
But my whole thing is though, even if I ask them questions, that don't necessarily mean that I really want to know. I'm not asking to be like, you know, bugging her. I'm asking through the midst of a conversation.
So you going through the motions.
What I'm saying is, my thing is, if we having a conversation and you saying that you out of town, right? And I say, what day you coming back? I might have some shit planned. I mean, it might just be a spur of the moment, you know,
casual conversation.
But for you to say that that's too early, but yet you let me hit raw, is what's confusing to me.
See, don't put this on there. You need to talk to her.
That's real.
I feel like
I'm here raw.
Y'all need to have a conversation.
Now I do agree.
I should be able to ask you when you come home.
I do.
If I'm hitting raw.
Yeah, you can act. I mean, that's if that's in casual.
That's 2021.
But if that's a casual conversation, that's
Like in
a
2021, it needs to be acknowledged. Like, are we doing this with other people?
Well, let's not even say. But let's not even say in 2021. Let's say at our grown ass age. We not in high school. We not in college. We not under 25. We are grown with a purpose. So if y'all wanna fuck with a condom. But if we fucking with no protection,
women do like condoms.
It be y'all that be pulling them up.
No, sir.
Hey,
Sir, I be like, look, you gotta
Look, take it off. Get it all the time though.
Really?
But it ain't even in 2021. It's been like that.
No, you're right. It has been like that. But I'm saying at the age.
Well, I mean, it varies. What we not gonna do is tell the audience that motherfuckers, we not gonna convince y'all that bitches is just out here every bitch is fucking raw. Because I've been with my boyfriend, we've been living together for over a year. We're currently house honey. When I first met him, he was trying to smash. I said, you got a condom? He said no. I took my ass to fucking sleep with my head. Thank you. I'm appreciative. Good night. But the thing is, we not there yet. We not there yet.
You can go to sleep.
We not going together. Yes.
That's the part that I'm like.
You know what? You can go to sleep on a motherfucker.
With like no reciprocity?
No reciprocity.
You bought this for yourself because you brought your ass up here with no condom.
Oh no!
You need to be prepared. The next morning, I went to go get my birth control. He said, you want to let me fuck raw? You on birth control? I said, nigga. Now you like, I was just playing.
Depending on that, and then, but let me tell you what's crazy. Niggas so dependent on birth control, and the moment that a bitch may tell you she on birth control, but fuck around and get pregnant, then y'all niggas mad at the bitch for lying to you about being on birth control when you, as a nigga, should have had the protection in the beginning. But you taking a wire. I can lie to you. I might want to fuck just as bad as you do. Yeah, I'm on BC. Yo, run this, shoot the club up and run it.
Because
they run it.
Thinking for the moment.
I know somebody that does that has done that. So, as a man, as a teenage young boy, y'all are taught in sex ed to bring condoms to whatever situation. Why you ain't got no condom in your pocket?
They don't have sex ed no more. In school, they don't.
We ain't talking about the young niggas. We talking about niggas we grew up with. Y'all went to sex ed just like we did.
Why is our generation or generations now not as understanding or as tolerable as past generations? Like, why we cutting motherfuckers off with red flags? Why we like, you know what? I'm not taking that.
Ooh, they finna hate this answer.
Yeah, they
finna hate this
Why we not allowing shit that people in the past?
That's a good question, Gail.
Because it's us. It's not everybody.
Told me that we don't know how to.
It's us.
No.
It's us.
Our tolerance level is too low.
When you got married to somebody, that was it. Like, you stick with this shit.
Nah. It's us.
I said back
It's
then,
us.
that's my grandma.
Let's say grandma black. Yeah.
You're right, but what I'm saying is, grandma black, but as the world
has transpired, which I gotta realize.
It's social media though. It's too many opinions on social media. So the moment you see a post that says, "Girl, I wish a nigga would cheat on me," and you got 8,000 comments under there, they be like, "Bitch, I agree. Bitch, I agree. Bitch, I agree."
I'm splitting the bill.
Yeah. It's too many opinions. Yes. Yeah, but the thing is, your opinion is no longer valid. You feel like you need to conform to the norm. You see this level and you don't feel a way to separate yourself. If you feel that way, that's what you feel.
But isn't that
But see, no, it's not like that though.
Did it feel they could find better, or is it that?
No, it's not that they don't. It's not that they can feel they feel like they can find better. It's that they don't want to look as stupid as what everybody else whose opinion is the opposite of what the norm may be. They don't want to look retarded. They be like,
I ain't even gonna say it's that. Cause if it's that, then you dealing with a nigga that's insecure, unsure.
But that's women and men.
That's women and men. But
we can't lie like most men. We cannot lie like most men. Don't try to. Let's give a perfect example. You talking to your homeboy, like, "Hey, bro, my old lady spazzed out on me, you know what I mean? I just try to give her a little moment, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even really go off too bad, but she went to go into X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She went through the whole 9. You done went and told your homeboy, you were chill though now. You were chill, you was cool, you was kicking it, you was cool with her whole, everything she would throw at you, you eating it. The moment you tell your homeboy, "Hey boy, fuck that bitch, what you talking about? Why you even doing that? Like, why you not even putting that hoe in your place? Cause you a man. At the end of the day, this is your standpoint. This is what you need to stand for. Do these niggas, your friends, your homeboys, not sway you? They got you on that totem pole. Cause at the moment you was solid. You felt good. You felt good enough to bring that to your homeboys and be like, "Look, I'm confident in what I did." And then your nigga like, "Boy, you a pussy ass nigga."
It's a lot of cap.
I ain't even gonna say it's a lot of capping these niggas.
You
rap.
pussy.
It could be capping. Listen. This what I'm gonna say. It could be capping they rap, but them niggas ain't men.
No, and I agree. And let's talk about the real shit. Because niggas, let's also say that niggas do not hold their homeboys accountable for bullshit. If you got a homeboy that does not, this is another prime example. If you do not have you have a homeboy that has a child, that don't see his child like he's supposed to, don't do the shit that he needs to do. As a father, and you're a friend of his, you're condoning his bullshit.
That's real, but I'm saying if you are around these type of guys.
But niggas don't see it like that. They don't see it like that.
No, I ain't talking about the niggas. Them niggas ain't shit. I ain't making no excuse for them. I'm just talking about if you're a woman and you're around those type of guys, ma'am, understand, you're the problem. Move! What the fuck wrong with you?
Yeah. Well, because let's also be real. Niggas are way more emotional than women.
Yes, they are. Speak on it.
They will not take the accountability that if your homeboy sit there and tell you, "Hey, bro, you got to tighten up. You got to get it together." "Hey, bro, I ain't talking to that nigga for a couple of weeks, man. He done pissed me off."
Okay.
You mad because he done put you in your place because that's what you needed. But as women, now, I ain't gonna lie, we're emotional. We're in our feelings.
Y'all can't even make friends.
We can make friends. We're reactive. But let me explain something. Women are more on top of those emotions. Like, so friend, you did hurt my feelings.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about it.
We communicate.
We're gonna communicate how I felt about that.
No. Check this out. That's cool.
Let me just say this one word because y'all don't understand it. It's called vulnerability.
Yeah, they don't get that.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, y'all don't have it. Cause let me tell you how to go. Take a group. No, listen. Take a group of your college friends.
Okay.
Wow.
Co-ed.
I have a great group of college friends.
Take a great group of your college friends. Co-ed, right? Get them all together.
Okay.
Everybody bring who you're talking to. Boom. Oh, it's gonna be great. It's lit. Then we say, hey, boom. All the girls go over here. All the guys go over here. We finna be alright. When we get back to y'all room, it's still stiff as fuck. It's stiff as fuck.
But we're not talking. But see, that's not what we're talking about. No, we're talking about. What we're talking about is people that.
What I'm talking about is
people that you're friends with.
Universally, niggas are cool and we're alike. And y'all are different and uptight.
No.
Yes.
Niggas was trained to be cool. Whole time they pissed
Be
off.
mad.
Niggas was trained to be cool.
Yes. Be mad.
When they get in the car, when they leave that event, it's gonna be a fucking.
But let's not even talk platform now in today's society. Men talk so much about not being vulnerable enough. Y'all niggas will sit there and let a nigga eat you up, be mad, don't talk to the nigga for about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you wanna sit and you wanna talk to your old lady about the way a nigga made you feel, but you ain't voicing to the nigga that said what he had to say to you.
Like I was talking about, like, does culture dictate love? A lot of times, nowadays, reputation dictates love.
Yeah.
So it's how you may see me, what my reputation may be, what you may think of me. Because I don't feel like us talking to our homegirls or having a conversation about it should lead to it's over. But because it's not a thing, like you feel like, oh, I'm talking about a relationship, but they've been doing that shit since the beginning of time. It's just at the end of the day, our grandparents did what the fuck they wanted to do, regardless of how you felt. Nowadays, people are like, oh, I can't be with him because I done told everybody.
And see, that's what I was just about to say that.
I ain't gonna say that. This is what I will say. This is really how I feel. Just keep it a buck.
Tell us.
I don't know what kind of flack I'm gonna get for this, but I kick it like this.
Fire, 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 fire.
My granddaddy was a hell of a nigga. Both of them. My daddy was a hell of a nigga. They were real men. It ain't a lot of us no more. That's the issue. So like, this is how I really feel. Like, I feel like it's bad. That shit's a rarity. Like, so like, women feel the type of way that they're mentioning because nowadays it's fucked up because that's the norm. That's the norm. And like, I'm not trying to like tip my own hat or anything like that, but I was raised different because I was raised by the men I just mentioned. So like, when I'm around women and when I met my wife and I was around my wife, it was different. You knew I was different in the room, and niggas not cut like that anymore. That's the real issue. Like, and society and culture has a lot to do with that because of how much we allow and all these other things that we're trying to make so inclusive. But then on the back end, the first thing fathers definitely want to do with their daughters is push religion on them and Christianity and what they should look for in a man. But then they look up and they don't see these niggas. So like, it's deep. It's real deep.
I also say too, I think a lot of issues arise with culture, or the way that the reason why a lot of relationships from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s were lasting and the 2000s up until now aren't lasting is people talk too much.
Too much. It's too expensive.
Everybody don't need to know your business and what you and yours deal with. You know what I mean? The moment you get to putting other people into your business, the moment you allow them to have an opinion about what you and yours got going on. So the moment you say like, girl, he didn't win it, he didn't cheat it, he didn't win it, whatever, they have an opinion.
That's real.
So now your reputation, what they seen you as, how they viewed you and yours, is now being tarnished or being tainted because you didn't open your mouth too much. But not everybody needs to know your business. Not everybody, not every time that you have an issue with you and yours, you gotta go to social media. I don't need to know what you and your nigga got going on because now I'm uncomfortable. Because the moment that you get back with yours, I'm judging you.
It's before that though. Like, it's before that. Like, and that's one thing, bro. Like, I be trying to tell some of these younger cats, bro, you gotta look at how she posting and what she posting. Like, bro, everybody don't know. Like, I'm like that in my relationship. Folks get to talking to us and they like, oh, y'all been here, y'all did this, or they look at your Instagram and your Facebook. That shit ain't on them.
Yeah,
correct.
I'm living, I ain't posting.
I don't have time to post.
I ain't got time to post.
I ain't got no pictures in my phone.
That's what I'm saying. I got pictures in my phone.
But that's on my phone. Nobody in the public sees
exactly. They for me.
And I think that's the biggest difference between the reason why a lot of relationships don't work. So many people are worried about what they gonna look like if they go back to someone that did something.
And that's how you know. This what I be telling motherfuckers too, bro. That's how you know that person is not focused on you.
Yeah, that's true.
Bro, the only videos we talking about making, if I'm on a trip and I'm into you, is the flicks we finna make that night.
Talk about it later.
Look, set the camera up on the thing and let's do it, shawty. That's the only type of video we talk about. We ain't posting no stories. We ain't doing all that shit. We doing some shit that we can watch later on. Y'all tripping, man.
I agree.
Is love overrated?
Never.
Definitely.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes, and this is why I say that, because I'm a person that has spent most of his adulthood looking for love, in search for love, trying to grasp onto love. In the meantime, I have let a lot of other shit that I could have been doing fall to the wayside. So I say love is overrated because a lot of motherfuckers sit up there and they put love as number one priority and they fall short on other things that they could be gaining in.
Now, I don't know if I agree with you.
But no, you gotta think about it. Culturally, most think about it. Your homegirls. Love is their end goal. They always want a nigga. They always trying to get with a nigga.
Now let me say this.
And then you could be building a business, bitch. Like, I'm just saying, like, you could be building a business.
But nah, like, if you figure out what speaks to her, and like, I don't want to say the love language shit, but it's corny, but like, that's the best depiction. If you figure out what resonates with her,
I agree.
Like, bruh, that sex drive might not go down.
No, it might stay exactly where it need to stay.
When she come home and that shit she looking for to be done is done, she ain't got nothing to do but you, nigga. That's it.
See, Jeter gets this. He understands it.
But,
and I think a lot of people, a lot of issues or a lot of relationships nowadays, everybody is trying to love somebody based off of their love language.
So
nobody's taking time to check their opponent and know how their opponent operates. Like, nobody wants to study their opposite.
Or you got niggas like MJ that are just super competitive, so they know how to study every chick and do that shit for y'all. Then you find out later that like you thought you was in love, but this nigga just like really good at the game. It's a catch-22.
No, ain't no catch-22. Shut up, Gina. Ain't no catch-22. I think that you really need to learn your partner to find the best way to speak to them. It might be so simple and minute to you, but it might be so big and so fruitful for them.
Yeah.
So like with me, like the words of affirmation, baby. You got my pennies at the door. You told me I did a great day at work. You said what? Damn, baby, you did that sale. You had 25 sale last week. Yeah, I liked it. Okay,
don't say that, because then you gonna have a nigga at the office commenting you all day and he gonna try and have you in the mop closet.
See, but that's okay. That's okay. We can do that. But look, you got to really learn your partner, and I think that's
we can do that.
We can be in the mop closet.
Damn,
it's okay. We can be in the mop closet, but I think it's really important that you really, really learn your partner and know exactly what speaks to them, because what may speak to you just don't speak to them. Like, gifts, that's cool, but that shit don't make me like.
You want me to tell you what it really be though?
What?
Like, the shit that speak to them might be some shit that's annoying as fuck to you. So like,
of course, that's usually what it is. That's usually like, it's usually something that you really don't want to do.
So you ain't gonna do that shit. That
no, but you know it's gonna be a better outcome for you. So why not do it?
But like, human nature teaches people to play on different things for their advantage. So that's how like relationships get twisted, because then you start doing it when you want this or when you need this. Man, that shit so crazy.
That's true. Manipulation.
I wish true love and genuine happiness for every person on earth. And I feel like people who they settle or they don't have a grasp of love may think like, oh no, I don't wish this on nobody. But when you get something great and you really enjoy it and you know how phenomenal it is, you hold on to that, but you want to share it with everybody.
I don't feel like it's overrated. I think it's overrated if you haven't really found love ever in your life, or to you might feel like it's overrated. I think that who you probably dating is probably overrated because of what you looking for is probably not up to par, or y'all just not connecting as well. So, but I feel like once you really find that one and y'all truly connect and understand each other, then I don't really necessarily feel that it's overrated.
I agree. I think a lot of people.
I think that's hard though.
No, I want to be in love.
No, I don't feel like it's overrated.
I'm ready to be in love, goddammit. I'm ready for love. I'm ready to be in love. I'm ready to go through the trials and tribulations of love. I'm ready for the challenge. I want to be challenged. I feel like today's society so much, everything is too easy. It's so easy to walk away if you get.
That's why motherfuckers ain't in love, because you can walk away.
And I think that's the issue. Like, nobody wants to really make that fight, and people don't realize the longer you fight, at the end the reward is even bigger, because you like, damn.
But see, that's the issue. Like, that's how you feel, but the rest of them out here like real ass bitch, give a fuck about it.
I ain't gonna lie, I be rapping them lyrics. You know what I mean? But I feel at the end of the day, Okay, let me, before I say it, then.
Hold on, before we continue, the but is the part that nobody
Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that. I was about to say that. I will say, where we live in Atlanta, our culture, that's the norm. I think a lot of women are so like, I listen, I'm a feminist. I really be trying to be on our side, but I really feel like a lot of women are extremely too masculine.
This is something that you have to like go get and seek after. No. It's like, just let it happen, let it be. You gonna know. I think people need to, sometimes people are so like focused on finding love and having love that they ignore red flags, that they force shit that ain't meant to be, that they stay in things way longer than they need to. And it's like, if you truly just be open to receive what's really for you, then you will get that and above.
As it pertains to love, what we look for a lot is, what I've noticed honestly, just being in the culture, dating, being in the scene, is that we are very, very broken. And that's just not black people, that's every kind of person. We don't really know what we're looking for. And a lot of times we get into situations and we're looking for things to fill us. Like, we're looking for things to fix us. And we sometimes don't know how to love. A lot of times, most times we don't know how to love. So we get this weird, you know, slighted view of what love is, and like we don't even know how to do it properly. Right. So I think that we need more love. I think, for real, like
we do need more love.
We need like more love.
I'm saying that you shouldn't prioritize love on such a high standard.
But I feel like if you know how to love, you know how to balance. I feel like everything.
That's not true.
I feel like everything in life, if you're gonna master life, you have to master balance. Period. You can't.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't know balance.
They don't, but that doesn't mean that love is overrated. That just means that they got a lot of work to do within themselves. Like, if people can only give you as much as they can give themselves. Period. Right. People can only do as much as they can do for themselves. If you don't love yourself, because if you say love is overrated, then I mean, is loving yourself overrated?
Like,
that's never gonna go out of
loving yourself is underrated. Love, to as far as trying to find somebody else and be in love and all that shit, to me, is still overrated, because
I don't know, but I don't
think about it.
But I don't think it's overrated when you love yourself. I don't think love is overrated when you know how to love yourself correctly.
Because you're just trying to say I don't love myself. I love me, but I'm just saying though, you got to think about. I'm saying in this sense, think about it. When you're a child, what is your mother? Most mothers or grandmothers aspire for you as a girl to be married, be in love. Okay? Yeah. Overrated. My grandma, why you not telling this girl how to start a business? Why you not telling this girl how to watch out for trick ass niggas and wear condoms? Why you not telling her real shit that she gonna need to know? Instead, you telling her, well, baby, you need to hurry up and make sure you get a man, get married.
That goes back to my theory. Your parents and the people that have taught you and raised you, they only know as much as they know themselves.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie though, like, it's tough here.
It is. It's
for
bad.
Women.
It is tough.
And I was saying this to one of my homeboys the other day. I was like, bro, it's crazy how like slated Atlanta is. Like, for a woman,
it's on the slope.
Yeah, like for a woman, it's tough as shit. But for a guy that's experienced Atlanta and grew up here, you can succeed anywhere in the world. But for women, it's not. But like, it's not funny because I'm hurt. I know, but it's literally like that. Like, it's so fucked up. Like, it's like, this is a city that like, I'm not saying it handicaps women, but like,
it does. Ain't no saying.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not.
Yeah. Now it's like we can't keep going back to, oh well, my parents. After a certain point, it's up to you to kind of be able to get to that next level in your life. They only gonna take you so far.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So at a certain point, you gotta realize, okay, I do A, B, and I get C.
Right.
I'm trying to get to E. What do I gotta do to get there? Clearly, what I'm doing ain't. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah.
So I don't think love is overrated. I think that we need to, like you said, we need to put more emphasis on loving ourselves so that we can project love that we want from others. You know, the energy that you feel from people, the things that you get from people is a direct reflection of yourself, period. And I feel like the life that you live and the things that you attract are really a direct reflection of what you invest and what you put into yourself. So that's never gonna get old. I don't think that's ever gonna get old. Ever.
What is your take on men paying for everything? So like for me, like I said, because you know, I know different people are in different circumstances. Yeah. My dad has, since I was born, he either was in the NFL or he was coaching in the NFL. Right. So he's always paid for everything. Right. So for me, a man has to, my significant other, I let them know, I don't pay no bills, I don't pay no rent. Like every guy I get in a relationship or entertain or talk to, anything, I be like, look, I don't pay for nothing.
I feel like that's different. I feel like,
but that's what I've seen. So my culture dictates my
No,
love
facts.
in that sense.
If you grew up in a household that you was, you know, well off, whatever your daddy did, you really gonna be expecting your
I ain't gonna say we still had to grind. Like I said, it was divorced at 3.
But
My mom was a high school teacher.
I get that, but just period though. Like if you just growing up, I feel like anybody that's grown up who parents are successful, very successful, it's a certain level that you're not willing to go under.
Correct. When the time comes that you are in a relationship with someone that you love, do you feel if she expects or asks of you to pay all of the bills and all of the rent, is that something that you would be for
It's not
or against?
I'm not against. I won't say I'm against it, but I think there are levels to it. And I think there are differences. I feel like at
Can
the
you let me
beginning,
know the level?
I feel like at the beginning when you're courting as a male, you should be paying for everything. Especially when you're trying to not necessarily impress, but you're trying to get to know you, just hanging out, you dating, shit like that. You're paying for everything. I feel like if you have it, that you got it like that, yeah, pay for everything, because that's what you want to do as a male. I feel like it comes down to understanding and communication. If we just meet and we're both on the come up, it's certain things you might willing to accept because you know my background, you know how my journey, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like if you are at a level where your level is already set, like hey, I was brought up this way, I'm not dealing with nothing less, then whoever the dude is that's coming to the picture, he should already have that in their mindset. Yeah, this is what it's gonna take to be able to keep this relationship going. You know what I'm saying? Now it's up to you on who you dating, on whether or not and your personality. Are you willing to accept certain things, or you just thought, like you said, look, if we together, you pay for everything. Don't expect me to pay for nothing.
Wait, let me rephrase that before people get the wrong idea. That doesn't mean everything. Like I said, you paying the rent and you paying the bills. So it's not like okay, me and my significant other have I'm a builder nigga. Right. Like me and my friends, we grow niggas. So anybody that come with us, they gonna grow. Even if we don't last, I done grown you. I done grew you. You done leveled up in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It ain't no dude who ever been in my life at any capacity that ain't say they left. They can't say that they left a lesser man after me. Right. They left a better man because of me. But like my current boyfriend, we are. I have an accounting degree. I was an accounting finance major, so I know how all that works. I know about credit cards. I know about building your credit. I know about your finances, budgeting, all of that, businesses, how to manage your funds. So just with some people, they don't have the knowledge from their culture to understand that. I put him on my credit card. He ain't got whenever he want to use the credit card, he can use it. He ain't got to worry about it. I'm gonna pay that bill.
But that's attractive
every time.
Attractive to guys that are mentally on that level, though. Even if you're not up to par with it, I think that I say me personally, if I'm talking to a woman and she is hitting me with how credit cards work, and I'm not up to par with how it works, you know what I'm saying? You being able to teach me, or you're willing to teach me, it's a turn on to me. Yes. It's making me wanna better myself, for the most part.
Okay.
In conclusion, your culture will try to dictate how you love, but it is up to you, grown ass person, young ass person, old ass person, to learn how to dictate how you love yourself. Okay? Don't allow your outside elements to dictate how you're gonna love, because most of the time it's coming from people who are miserable and will never find love. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that.
I agree.
I think it definitely our culture influences how we love. Definitely. I don't think I think who we are as a person dictates how we love, which in turn, who we are as a person is determined by our culture. So I guess yes would be the question.
I would say if you are somebody that has been, through some things as a child, I think that you should be, as you get older, it's easier said than done, but I would say that as you get older, you should definitely look at like outside looking in. Try to figure out things that you might be used to, but somebody else that you're dating might not be used to it. Try to look at it from their point of view. I think a lot of times when we see things that we're not used to, being around. We kind of neglect it. It's a negative if I'm not used to it. If I got a guy, if I'm dating a girl and she's not used to a nigga taking out the trash every week, you know what I'm saying? And I do that to her,
She
that might be a culture
like,
shock.
Yeah, she might feel like you think, and you think she helpless.
Right.
Culture dictate how we love, yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, that shit do. Too much.
I agree. It has too much of a input.
And it ain't changing, so shit.
I don't think so either. It's kind of unfortunate, but
feel bad for my kids.
Gita's culture and my culture is different.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is. Like but you said culture from like different cities, different realms of how you're raised.
Our culture
and I
is
say
same.
culture.
She just don't understand it. I'm gonna talk to her.
No.
Get off film.
I said culture as in social media. I feel like social media.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Love.
That's how y'all women be kind of like narrow-minded. That's how like you know what I'm saying.
You think that's narrow-minded though?
I don't think it's narrow-minded, but I just feel like women's definition of culture and how they see
No,
love.
I think everybody has a different definition of culture. I would agree with you. Honestly, if we was to go back and talk about culture, I would take it from your standpoint because it's very true. Yeah. Based off of how you raised and where you're raised at, you look at love completely different. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you could be raised, and this ain't to be funny, but you could be raised in like a trailer park and it could be the realm of the household that you live in. It's completely different from a dual household that, well, when I say trailer.
Or like your daddy could be a polygamist. And shit, he done took you to see his other wife and kids and stuff. He ain't even from America. Like, this shit's so crazy.
Yeah, in conclusion, I agree. I definitely think that, you know, our culture does influence the way that we love. But I think that it's up to you, like you said, to love yourself properly and just be in control of your life. At the end of the day, like you're the author of your story and you have the ability to make it whatever you want it to be. So don't be a follower, be a leader, stand out.
Amen.
Do what's uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? And get the life that you want because you deserve it. You can have it.
Come on, man.
Okay, because if no one told you that, you can get that.
Amen.
Okay,
Come on.
You're worthy.
Listen.
Okay, you can, you will, and whatever else.
And I wouldn't be a gay man if I didn't say this. In the words of RuPaul, if you don't love yourself, I'm gonna add a little remix to it. How the fuck you gonna love somebody else? Okay.
Period.
You need to love yourself.
Absolutely. Self-love is the best love.
I think, you know, within the black community, a huge problem first is communication.
Right. And with the communication, you need to talk to listen, not talking to talk. You know what I'm saying? If you talk to listen, your eyes and ears will be way open into what him or her got going on.
Correct.
It'll help you in the long run. And I think that'll help you, you know, as far as finding something long term.
I agree.
For the most part.
I agree. So all in all, yes, our culture dictates how we love.
It does.
But either way, even looking at it that way, one thing we know, culture definitely affects love. No matter what your definition of culture is, it's affecting how you love a motherfucker.
Sure.